Grab your cup. Do you feel like you're stuck in a cycle of pain or pleasure? Meaning, I'm always trying to avoid painful things, or I'm always looking for ways to feel better about myself, about life, whatever it is. So let me give you some examples of how that could look in your life. When we're trying to avoid pain, let's just say in a relationship, a difficult conversation, there's an issue that needs to be addressed and it's painful. So one thing you might do is, I'm not going to bring it up, or I'm upset about something. I'm just going to shove it down until I'm not upset anymore. I'm not going to bring it up. Or the other person brings something up and it's painful to hear. It's painful to hear what their experience is, what they're thinking. So we avoid that by certain forms of gaslighting, saying something like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not at all what happened. Or putting the blame back on them. Well, if you hadn't, whatever, right? Those are the ways that we avoid actually dealing with what the topic is. So it's a way of avoiding pain. The flip side of that is, how do I make myself feel better? So maybe I avoid pain a lot, but I also am looking to feel better. Some easy things that come to my mind are things like your diet. You know, at the end of the day, like, oh my God, I just need that glass of wine. It was a hard day. It's a strategy that I've used to make myself feel better. Or something even bigger than alcohol or food, although those can both become pretty big problems in our strategies of coping with life. But another one that maybe is less considered is doing things like having an affair, or even just going outside the relationship, kind of flirting with other people. Things that you would never do when you think of who you are and what's important to you. But when life gets stressful enough, when I'm in the thick of it enough, I might go outside of my house. Let's say the marriage is not doing well, and now I go outside and I feel better by cultivating some attention, some affection from someone else. So that's a pain-pleasure cycle. And it's really common for people to be in that, because as children, that's what we first learn when we're learning how to interact with the world. You know, don't touch the stove, it's hot. Avoid things that are painful. Here, you want some ice cream? You know, you did great, or mommy's gonna make you feel better. Let me make you your special dinner or give you your special dessert. So it's really common as children. That's how we interact with the world. I'm avoiding pain and I'm looking to feel better. If people never break that cycle, that's where they stay throughout their life, throughout adulthood. And hopefully you can see that that can be, I'm going to say, damaging in its extreme cases, and certainly less than fulfilling in its more mild ones. There is a third way that you can manage your life. And I'm going to tell you what that is, and then why we choose either this pain-pleasure cycle versus this third way. And this third way is living in integrity. Living in integrity with what you say you want, and integrity with who you say you are. So let me go back to my examples. If what you say you want is a great relationship, I really want a great relationship, I want to feel connected, I want all of the things that when I see other relationships that look wonderful, I want those things. To be in integrity with what you say would mean when something upsetting shows up, that you speak about it. You don't step over it, you don't shove it down, you actually have a conversation about it. Or if the other person has something that they feel they need to talk about, being in integrity with the concept of a great relationship means I'm going to really sit here and experience what they have to say. I'm going to see if I can put aside my responses, my reactions, and just hear what their experience was, because that's the way that great relationships are nurtured and cultivated. So I want to be in integrity with that. If who I say I am is whatever, a healthy person, somebody who's committed to health, then am I doing the things that are in integrity, or do I break from that and go right back to my pain-pleasure cycle, right? So if I say I want to have a different level of health and I go on a diet, and 10 days in, I go to a birthday party and they're serving cake, and I go, oh, I just this one time, I'm just gonna celebrate, it's rude not to. That's not in integrity with what you set out for yourself. So how do I live life more in integrity? Or why is that so difficult? And why do people tend to default right to the pain-pleasure cycle, which keeps really limiting and depleting strategies in place in their life? These are the strategies that show up in the patterns that you want to get rid of. The patterns where things aren't going well, a lot of it could be traced back to, well, I keep living in this pain-pleasure cycle. How do I get myself into this place of integrity where what I keep doing and saying is a match for what I say I want? And really where that all comes from is, am I living life from a place of truth? Truth about myself, truth about what sources me, and what sources me is love. Where I come from, where we all come from, is sourced from divine intelligence, right? The creator, which is love. When we are in alignment with that, when I can stand in, I am love, I'm okay as I am, I'm perfectly fine and capable, I can trust in outcomes. When I can be there, I don't have to worry, am I able to make it through this painful thing? I don't have to worry about that, because my focus is on that bigger picture. My focus is on, I know I'm going to be okay. I know that I'm worthy. I know that I'm good enough. I know that love is the baseline of who I am and where I live. So therefore, I can be in these difficult conversations, or I can be a stand for what I want in my family. And I can do the things without worrying, even if they're painful. That could also look like if you end a relationship, like, I'm worthy of a relationship that does feel really good. It's not happening here, and this person is not able to meet me. Relationships end all the time, right? So the ability to say, I love you, and we're not going to stay in this relationship any longer. It doesn't serve either one of us, right? That's being in integrity with who you say you are. So all of it comes from, do I either live in a fear-based mentality, which means I'm not going to be okay, I'm not good enough, I can't handle this, it's not going to work out, all of those things, that's what keeps me in that pain pleasure. Or I'm good enough, I'm worthy, I am love on the inside because I'm connected to my source, and I can move through these things even when they're painful. That's a big, big fundamental cycle to break, and a pattern to shift into that will affect all of the patterns of your life, everything that goes on in your relationships, in your personal life, how you show up at your job, all of it. If you want more information about how do I do that, how do I actually break that pain-pleasure cycle and be more true to myself and stand in my own worthiness and the love and what I say I want to create, put talk in the comments, because it's not something that just happens. It's something that you really need to break down and work on and understand how it's showing up in your life. And that's the work that we do. So go ahead and put talk. And we look forward to a free conversation about what you want for your life and how the work that we do can help you get that. Okay? Have a great day.